exercises I'm going to show you now are good for the low back, hip, and could also help with knee, ankle, and foot pain. I'm going to show them to you in order of difficulty. If you only do one, make sure you do clamshells. Okay, so you've probably heard that core strength is important for the low back. This is nice because it's very subtle. When we're injured, it can be a little too intense to do any major core strengthening. So when you're lying down, you want to think about a couple different things. One of them is tucking your tailbone, and the other is your hip points snugging together. Okay, you want to lie on your back, probably with a pillow under your head. You want your knees at a 90-degree angle and your feet on the chair. And then when you breathe out, you're going to push into the chair and tuck your tailbone. So, I'm exaggerating. It should be a pretty subtle movement. Basically what you're thinking about is forcing the air out by creating a hug in your lower belly. You can do this with a balloon so that you're actually blowing up the balloon, or you can just imagine that you're doing that. Just hang out doing this for a few breaths and see how satisfying you can make the breath, how large, how much of your torso it can fit. So our glute med on the side of our hip is super important muscle for stabilizing our whole pelvis, and it often gets weak because we sit a lot, and then it gives us problems when we start to walk because it's involved in every step, stabilizing your pelvis with each step. So I want to practice every time you can think of it. When you're going from sitting to standing, you want to wake up that muscle. And the way you do that, imagine that you're standing inside of a box and you want your leg to go back towards the back corner. So you just do 3 pulses to the back. If you can add your arms. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that just gets that to turn on. Another thing you can do throughout the day is to stand, sorry, you don't need to do it like that. Just whenever you think of it, just stand on one leg. You want to make sure your hip's not going out to the side or collapsing in. Make sure it's directly underneath your torso and try and keep your knee unlocked. Okay, so I'm going to show you clamshells. They're the most important because they help stabilize the glute med, which gives you good posture for upper and lower body. So you want to lie with your back all the way against the wall. You want a resistance band if you can. It's okay to do it without. You want your feet together, and it might be nice to stabilize with your hand. And then you want to do 10 on each hip. And then, so that's 1/2 of a set. This is the other half of a set. Do 3 sets of those. The other thing you can do is work up towards holding. So start with 30 seconds and work your way up to holding it for 3 minutes. Okay, so this exercise is really good for core strength, low back pain, and strengthening your glute meds, and strengthening your knees and your ankles and feet. So the pillow, put it between your knees, get into a 90-degree bend of your knees against the wall, push your low back into the wall, squeeze the pillow, hang out for 30 seconds, work your way up to 3 minutes. Maybe do it a couple times. If you can only do 30 seconds, do a couple of those.